how after you watch this video you will be motivated and inspired to actually write your book. So the first way you can actually be motivated is to imagine your fandom. Imagine the people who are going to be reading your books. Trust me, they will ship that specific ship you're writing, and there will be so much fan art, and also everyone will simp after that one character. You know who I'm talking about. They will be so rizzed, everyone will be obsessed. Literally, the fan fiction, the fan art, the fan trailers, the fan movies, everyone is gonna be so obsessed. They're gonna fall in love with your book. Your characters can literally change the world, and it's gonna at least change the life of one person. Okay, like, people will be so passionate about your book. People will literally be screaming and threatening their friends to read your book. But that only happens if you write it. So if you need motivation, just literally imagine the fandom. Okay, by not writing, that's like actually gonna not make that happen. But if you think about the fandom, you can be like, oh my gosh, I want that to happen. How do you get this fandom? Actually, by writing. So just imagine people, literally the fan fiction, the fan art, the fan characters, etc. Because people will be so obsessed. They will be rizzed. They will be rizzed. Also, they will stand the friendships. They will be shook when they read the plot twist. They will be shook. Like, imagine people just being obsessed with your books, because people are always like, oh my god, what if people hate it? What if people hate it? No, literally, think of the best. People think, oh my god, what if things fail? No one ever thinks, what if things go even better than I imagined them? Because that is what is most likely to happen. When books like Light's Lark, Colleen Hoover, Twilight have an insane amount of clout, if people are standing Prince Harry from Spare, they will be obsessed with your book, because your book is actually going to be a million times better than that. Oh, duh. And what you actually need to do is just think about that. Like, literally, another good idea is to literally stand your book yourself and like put yourself in the perspective of the fans. So like, what I do is, like, whenever there's a song on, I just imagine my characters like vibing to the song, interacting with each other. I literally create a fan art of my own characters. You need to stand your own book, okay? Because that is how you get excited. Like, think about other stuff you're obsessed with. Do that. Write fan fiction of your own book. Also indoctrinate your friends into the fandom, and then tell them about your book, and then they will also stan it as well, and then now you're morally obligated to write it. Next tip is to literally, okay, what you have to do is you have to write the bits you are in the mood to write. Okay, that is how you actually stay motivated. Because, for example, I'm editing, let's say I have 2 different bullet points I have to edit, and one bullet point I'm like, and the other bullet point I'm like, oh my god, I'm so excited to write that, but the one is higher. No, you pick the one you're most inspired to do, and then you'll have fun writing it. So you need to just pick the bits, because you need to actually have the joy in the moment. If you're just choosing the things you're not motivated to do, then that's why you're not motivated. You need to actually pick the things you really want to do. Like, let's say you're writing chapter 2, but you're like, oh my gosh, right now I feel really passionate about that chapter 5 scene. Write the chapter 5 scene. Then when you feel motivated to write chapter 2, then you'll write chapter 2, because that way you're doing it from the actual passion. This is what I actually do when I'm writing chapters a lot. Like, let's say this is the entire chapter, and like, this is the chapter, and I'm at this point, right? But I really want to write this bit. So I do is I write this bit, and then I keep on just alternating, and then, oh my god, glue the separate pieces together with like a few sentences. Oh my gosh, I've written the chapter so much faster, because I actually were motivated to write those specific bits. So just think about the specific bits you're actually motivated to write. Then the next thing you need to do is actually to invest in your book, okay? Because if you're gonna invest in your book, then you're like, oh my god, I've spent money on this, so now I actually have to write it, and you'll feel more motivated. So Readsy have to sponsor today's video. Thank you so much, with the How to Write a Novel course by Tom Bromley, who is actually a ghostwriter who has clout. So because he's actually has clout, his advice is going to be a million times better than mine. And also, I would literally highly recommend the course, because it is amazing. The actual, basically, it has 106 videos, and they're all separated into like specific weeks of you so you can write your book. And then if you're actually investing into the thing, then you're like, oh my gosh, I've invested, I've bought this course, now I have to actually write. And then also the course will keep you motivated, because it is literally so good. Like, The next cohort begins in September 2nd, but there will be more dates coming in autumn and also in 2025. So make sure you click on the link so you can actually keep in track with what is going on. Actually, every single day you are holding yourself accountable, and also there's other writers and then you have writing instructors. So you're literally forced to be accountable, and then you'll be motivated because there's other writers there to encourage you. You're literally paid for the course. So now you're like, oh my God, I'm actually so motivated, because by doing that, you are proving to yourself that you are actually motivated to write, period, and you're actually passionate about your own book. I would recommend this specific course because it's actually such high quality, and each week there's like different sections, so it's really organized. And also the videos are so good because I watch everything on 2x speed and with subtitles, and you can do that in the settings. And also there's a separate bit where you can literally write notes. We literally just get it up, okay, because this will actually motivate you to write your book, and because you've invested in your book, so then now you have to write it as well. Oh my God, also I did not even mention this. On the 6th day of every week, there's a panel of authors. So instead of taking advice from me, who's literally published 0 books, there's like a panel of authors who literally talk about the thing that has to do with this week. And it's so good. Like, literally would highly recommend. Invest in yourself, okay? You should actually invest in a course that's quality. Like this one, it's by Reedsy, that actually has clout. It's by Tom Bromley, who actually has clout and is like an insanely good, best-selling, award-winning ghostwriter. Like, I'm sorry. So instead of investing in a trash course, this one is, I recommend. Okay, I get like a million different people being like, Ria, can we like please sponsor the channel? And I'm always like, no, because it's trash. So this proves that's actually good, because I would only provide the Ria cult with the best things, okay? Would highly recommend. Link is in the description if you want to buy the course, and it will actually make you motivated to write your book, period. Also, the course will literally take you through writing your book, because there's literally bits on writing. There's also bits on like planning specific bits, character point of view, etc. Then they also have bits on actually how to write the prose. Then on the last week, we literally discuss editing as well and steps afterwards. So literally everything is sorted. It makes it a million times easier, because also what happens if you're like trying to write and you're like, oh my God, like, it's all too confusing. This will actually make it easier. You're gaining new knowledge, which means you're more likely to write. You're held accountable, which means you're more likely to write. Also, you can literally get feedback by instructors and other writers, so you can literally get feedback on your work. It's so valuable. Like, literally would recommend, because the videos are actually insane. They're high quality and the advice is so good. Like, when I was listening to the advice, I was like, I'm actually so shook. So I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for Reedsy for literally being the first sponsor of this channel ever. So please show them some love, actually get the course, and we would really appreciate it. And thank you so much for Reedsy for believing in the Ria cult. And you guys literally need to get the course to stay inspired. Please click the link in the description so you can get the Reedsy course. Oh my gosh. Okay, my next tip would literally be, get to the root of the situation. Why are you not motivated? For example, is your book actually trash and you realize your book is actually trash and you don't like it? Or maybe you're just not motivated because your life in general. Maybe you're not motivated about writing a book, but you're not motivated about anything because there are deeper issues at hand. And you're like, wait, I just feel no joy in life. Then you realize, oh my gosh, maybe I should be targeting that issue and focusing on my mental health so I can like help my mental health and then get back to writing. Because you need to analyze your own life. Like, I can't like do an analysis for you. You just literally need to think about your own life and then think, why am I not actually feeling motivated to write my book? What is it? Get to the root of the issue. The first step to self-esteem is self-awareness. So you actually need to identify the issue and then actually accept the issue and then actually understand how to actually change the issue so you can be motivated. So just do a whole deep dive analysis on your own life and think, why am I not motivated? Is it because the book's trash? Is it because something is going on in my life? Is it because of other issues? And then change it if you can. Another thing is, oh my gosh, okay, people get way too focused on, I need to finish my book, I need to finish my book. Then you won't be motivated. You literally won't be motivated if your only focus is on finishing your book. Because if you're thinking of the end product, you're just going to be stressed and try to get to the end product. Because what I've noticed, if I'm like, oh my God, I'm writing right now and I love writing so much, this is so fun, I love my characters, and I'm not pressuring myself by being like only thinking of the end goal and then being like, I need to finish the end goal, I need to finish the end goal, I need to finish finish the end goal, I need to finish the end goal. No, because that way you're only focused on the end goal. Whereas what you should have is, instead of like ending based goals, you need to have identity based goals. So your identity should be being a writer, therefore you write a lot. You actually take joy and fulfillment from writing, so therefore you're gonna be like, okay, I need to write now because it's so fun, instead of being like, yeah, I need to finish this book, yeah, I need to finish this book, because then you're not gonna be motivated, you're just gonna be stressed out. And stress not only, okay, look, listen, right, if you stress, okay, if you only focus on finishing the end product of the book instead of enjoying like being happy in the moment, as oh my god, okay, there's actually two things around. Okay, so the first thing I was gonna say is, if you focus on the end goal instead of just feeling fulfilled, then you're gonna be stressed out. Then when you're stressed, that literally leads to so many other issues. You know how like I'm like, oh my god, I have this issue, let me look it up on the NHS, and it's like, oh my god, you're either dying of a severe illness or you're stressed. Do you want all of those things? And then all of those things, because of you having all these crazy symptoms because of stress, then you'll be so like crazy symptomified out because you're like ill from the stress. You won't even be able to write your book because you're not actually well. You need to be happy in the moment, okay? If you're tying like happiness to the goal of finishing your book, then when you get there, you're gonna be like, shit, no, because everyone's happiness goes back to baseline. So you need to actually enjoy the moment and write out of love for yourself, and then you'll be like, oh my god, I'm actually motivated. Whereas instead of, if you're only focusing on the end goal of being like, oh my god, I need to write a book, then where is the joy in that? Where is the passion? And your book will actually be better if you're writing it for the joy and you're writing it for the love of the art, rather than just being like, I need to write a book, I need to write a book, I need to write a book. Because stop pressuring yourself, okay? You are literally just a human being. Write for fun, write for the love of writing. Don't just write for the single end goal. Be a writer, be a writer, be a writer, period. 65% of the people who literally watch my channel are not subscribed. In order to be part of the real cult, you literally have to subscribe. So please subscribe. I've literally noticed when I've asked people to subscribe, then it's actually gone up an insane amount. So please check. You might accidentally be like, oh my god, I am subscribed, and then check and be like, oh my god, I'm not subscribed. So please subscribe. Anyways, the next point is to be clear on your actual goals, because then you'll actually know what to do, and then you'll know what to be motivated about. Whereas if you don't have any clarity towards your goals, then you're just going to get overwhelmed. And also literally write down all of your goals, because if you write stuff down, you're 80% more likely to do them. So then you're actually like, oh my god, I'm actually writing. But then also actually write down each specific goal, write down each specific stage, which is actually what the Tom Bromley course does. So you should click on the link in the description. But anyways, because they separate each video into a specific week and then each video for each day, which is each specific topic. But anyways, but literally what I'm saying is, you need to actually be clear on your own goals, be clear on the specific things you need to do to write your book, be specific on the specific elements, for example your characters, for example your world building, for example your plot, for example your point of view, for example all these specific different things. And then you're actually clear on what you need to change, on what you need to do right now, on what specific small achievable goals you're meant to do. Because if you separate it into separate bits, it will actually be really good. Whereas if you only have the singular goal of write your book, you're just gonna get overwhelmed. Whereas if you separate into little books, you'll be less overwhelmed, less stressed, and therefore you'll be chilled out, and therefore you'll actually be motivated to write a book, because you know like what specific things you're actually meant to be doing. Next tip is literally just think to yourself, what can I do to make it more fun? So you could actually just think about the process of writing, but also the actual contents of your book. Maybe you're not motivated because it's just not fun enough. It's like how Brandy Sandy literally says when he writes a scene, he always thinks, what can I do to make this cooler? So think, what can I do to make this more cool? What can I do to make it more fun? What can I do to make it more inspiring, to make it more motivating? Why are like a million flies trying to break into the house? Anyways, then what you can also do is do that for the process of writing your book. What can I do to make writing my book more fun? E.g. light a candle, e.g. make a sleigh drink, e.g. also guys, make sure you drink water. I've literally drank like 2 liters and now I'm trying to get to 3 liters, so like make sure you guys stay hydrated is really important. But anyways, literally think, what can I do to make writing more fun? For example, writing with friends. For example, go to a cafe. Damn, I'm literally putting all the effort to move here and write, so now I actually have to write. Whereas if you're sitting in your house, there's also a million distractions as well. So change your environment. Like I know people are like, oh my god, change your environment, generic advice, but like literally actually do it. Like don't just listen to everything I'm saying. Actually write it down, actually take it into account, actually do it. It's up to you to take my advice so you can actually be motivated to write your book, so then everyone can be blessed with your art. Also, So because literally you not being motivated, this thing will motivate you, right? Like there's this image of this guy, I'll just like put it up here, where he's like mining for diamonds, and then like the image will explain it, but like yeah, he's literally so close to mining the diamonds, but then he just goes away. Whereas if you can keep that image in your brain of the guy mining for diamonds, then you'll know that eventually you are going to achieve your goal. Okay, the fact that you want to write a book means that you are meant for it to actually happen. Therefore you should be motivated to write it, because you know that this is what you're actually meant to do. But if you're writing it and you're finding it difficult and then you're getting discouraged, just think it's gonna be hard, but this is what you want, and just think of the diamond image in your brain, period. Then also, it's literally normal to not be motivated 1,000,000% of the time, but a life hack I use, if I'm like, oh my god, I literally can't be motivated to write my book, I just force myself to write for like 10 minutes, set a timer for 10 minutes, force myself to write, literally 1,000,000% of the time. Then after that, I'm like, oh my god, wait, right, my book is amazing, my characters, the plot, the world building, the plot twist, the character interactions, the character dynamics, the world building, the culture, the immersification, the prose, the magic system, and I just get insanely rizzed by my own book. So then I carry on writing it, but before that 10 minutes I wasn't, because I was just like, oh, can't be asked. So that is what you need to do. Literally just force yourself for the first 10 minutes, then if after that you're like, it's very 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 highly likely you will be motivated after that. So just force yourself for a bit. Also, what I like to do is literally, if you're like really can't be motivated, okay, don't waste time and spend 1,000,000,000,000,000,000 hours on this, but what I like to do is first like make playlists for each of your different characters. Okay, I tried to make a Pinterest board, but it failed. I remember the only thing I searched was Indian man with muscles, so my Pinterest is going to be crazy as for my character, I promise. Anyways, but like I've heard Pinterest boards are helpful for people. I tried. But then also literally you can make playlists and make it really leng. You can use character AI stuff like, I don't know, art breeder and stuff like that to create characters and stuff. That's also a really good idea, would recommend. Then you can just like get excited, make fan art, make fan fiction, etc. Like just like keep it organized. Oh my gosh, like make everything aesthetic. Okay, but I don't want to be like those people who are like, oh my god, I can't revise and I waste all my time making my notes look pretty. But if you genuinely need to be motivated, then do that. But just keep in your brain you actually also need to write your book. Like don't waste 1,000,000 years making playlists for your characters, even though it's so fun and making everything look leng. But humans like things that are pretty. It is in our nature. Therefore, if you want to make it leng so you're enjoying it more and you're actually more motivated, then go ahead. Because okay. So like there's one scenario where you're wasting time making everything look insanely leng that you're not actually writing your book, but there's another POV where it's literally like, if you make everything more leng and pretty, then you'll be more likely to be motivated to write it because it looks leng, then you'll be more likely to actually write it, then oh my god, you finish your book. So think, do I waste 1,000,000 hours already making it look leng? If so, then actually just write it. Like, but if it's like a mess and everything's in shambles and you need that temporary motivation, go for it. Then when it looks leng, you'll be more like, not even temporary, permanent motivation, because now it's leng and you've got like cool, like even with your writing document, change the fonts, make the format really cool, and you're like, oh my god, this actually feels like a real book, I want to write it, etc. Period. Okay, next on how to stay motivated is literally other people. You are the 5 people you hang around the most. So if you hang around with people who literally have zero motivation in life, then you're going to have zero motivation in life. For example, I have writer friends, right? So me and my friend will both stan our books, or me and a different friend will both stan our projects, our creative projects, just be friends with other creative people. And then also, I'm not saying drop your friends who aren't writing a book, obviously we love friendships, but like if you are friends with people who write, stan your book with them, then you'll both be excited and you'll both be more likely to write your book. Or even with people who aren't writer friends, but like then you can just like talk to them about your book and then you'll both get excited, etc. But also the like top 5%, the top 5 people rule also applies to people you are watching online. For example, if you watch a bunch of my videos, you'll be like, Ria's really excited about writing her book, I want to write. Or if you get the how to write a novel course, then you'll be watching Tom Bromley, who's actually a proper writer, and his panels every single week with other authors. Then you'll have all of these authors and then you'll be more likely to write. Or you can just, oh my god, slayed. Anyways, or you can just surround yourself with people who write in real life, watch me or like fictional other author tubers, etc., and also get the course Okay, also, when I was talking about watching my videos, I literally have an entire playlist called Writing Motivation, where I literally threaten you to write your book. I have videos such as Unhinged Woman threatens you with a butter knife to write book. I threaten you with a used fork. I threaten you with a spoon. I threaten you with like so many different things. Honestly, just watch that playlist if you want like a girl who is just screaming at you to write your book. And also make sure you subscribe to my channel, because I have these 2 videos coming that will actually really help you. The first one is actually going to be a 2-hour video, and it's going to be POV. You're writing with your friend, but she's like high-key threatening you to write and is motivating you, and it's just gonna be me writing and then occasionally screaming at you to write as well. And I'm also gonna make one called POV, you've literally been kidnapped and forced to write. So I literally kidnap you and force you to write your book. So, and those 2 will actually help you, so make sure you subscribe, because my motivational videos are good. Oh my god, okay, so like, you know how like in some of my videos I'm just like delete TikTok or like delete Instagram because they're actually designed to keep you addicted, but if you're like, Ria, I don't want to delete it, shut up, then fair enough. What I would suggest is instead you can be like, okay, what I'm actually gonna do is I'm going to only interact with the stuff on TikTok and the stuff on Instagram that is about writing. Therefore, every time you go on TikTok, or curate your For You page, so that way every time you go on TikTok you see a bunch of writing content, then you're actually inspired to write. Or every single time you go on Instagram you see a bunch of people writing your book, therefore you'll get a bunch of images of that in your brain, therefore you're more likely to write your book. Because literally your thoughts lead to feelings and your feelings lead to actions, but the main thing is the action, right? So for example, I could not be motivated and take the action anyways, but to be motivated is the thoughts you're telling yourself. So if you keep telling yourself, if you keep on seeing these images of other people writing, then your brain is gonna think, oh my god, I want to write, that's cool. And especially that like TikTok and Instagram and stuff you see on like social media really romanticizes it. That is also helpful as well. But then also you can literally just say to yourself, I'm motivated to write, I'm motivated to write, I'm motivated to write, I'm motivated, blah, 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 blah. Then if you keep on thinking to yourself and gaslight yourself that you're motivated to write, then the more times you say it, then your brain will actually be fooled and then be like, you know how people are like, if you smile, it tricks yourself into being happy. It's kind of like that. Just keep be like, I'm so motivated to write, I'm so motivated to write, I'm so motivated to write. Then, oh my god, you'll actually be motivated to write. Period. Then because your thoughts cause your feelings cause your action, and then when you're motivated to write, then you'll actually write your book, and then you'll actually be writing because you're actually motivated and inspired. Then another thing I'd say is actually celebrate all you've done so far. For example, let's say you've only outlined your book. Don't use the word like only outlined your book. You've outlined your book. That is crazy. You are a step closer to achieving your goal. Yay, you should be happy. You should not be like, oh my god, like I haven't. Celebrate your progress, okay? Especially like you have changed. Before you hadn't outlined your book, now you have outlined your book. That is an achievement, okay? You have to be proud of yourself. Even if you've only written your first draft eats for a first draft, okay? Like you need to think, oh my god, this is amazing, this is magical, this is amazing, I ate, because you actually ate. And that way you're actually celebrating yourself rather than talking, like people keep on talking negatively on themselves. That is not motivating. Oh my god, what really annoys me is when people are like, your first draft will be shit, your first draft will be trash no matter what. Because I'm sorry, your first draft, if you're comparing it with a finished book, then obviously, but that's because they're different things. That's like the analogy I like to use is if you have an unripe mango and you have a ripe mango, the unripe mango will turn into a ripe mango. So you should be comparing unripe mangoes with other unripe mangoes, period. So your unripe mango is amazing for an unripe mango. Although, but when people are like, oh no, like your first draft will be shit, that's because you're comparing it to an actual book. Whereas what you've created for a first draft is actually amazing. You need to be proud of yourself. If you're talking negatively to yourself, even as a joke, if you're like, as a joke, oh my god, my first draft is trash, your brain doesn't know you're joking. It will actually register that as a fact, and then you will not be motivated. Whereas if you talk to yourself how you talk to your friends, talk to yourself how you talk to your daughter. Think about your future daughter, even if you don't want kids, but like think about like your potential future daughter, whatever, fake daughter, etc. Would you talk to them that way? No, then don't talk to yourself like that way. You need to actually respect yourself, because if you're saying all this negative stuff about your work, then you're not going to feel motivated, because you're going to feel like what you're creating is trash. Whereas if you celebrate yourself, if you're like, wow, I'm such a bad bee, I literally wrote this, it eats, then that's what your brain's going to believe, then it's actually going to be slay, and then you're actually going to be more motivated because you actually like what you're writing. then also what I'm gonna say is if you have one part of your life together, it's more likely that you'll have other bits of your life together. For example, if your entire life is falling apart, are you gonna be motivated to write? No. So you need to focus on actually looking after yourself. Drink 3 liters of water a day, exercise, self-care, 8 hours of sleep. Okay, maybe the reason you're motivated is because you're not sleeping. Look, literally, I know there's a study, because I know there's literally a study out there, it might be fake, who knows, but there were 2 groups of people, right, and both groups of people did the same amount of cardio. However, one group had 7 hours of sleep, one group had 8 hours of sleep. They all lost the same amount of weight, but this lost 75% muscle and this group lost 75% fat. So literally, this group is literally losing the physical gains because they're not sleeping enough. Now I won't be linking the study because I can't be bothered. So if you're not sleeping enough, it's highly likely, or actually factually proven, that it correlates with the mental gains. Therefore, because you're not sleeping enough, your brain is losing its muscle and getting not buff. Okay, no, that's a bad obviously it's not actually losing muscle, but like your brain is now dying and you're not going to feel motivated because your brain is fried. Literally, if you're wasting a million times doom scrolling, brain rot, then are you going to be okay? No, you actually need to take control of the other areas of your life, because that is impacting you, and then that's going to impact your writing and your ability to stay motivated. Next is literally, if a random idea pops into your head, write it down. Oh my god, I get so many random ideas. Also dreams. Every single time I wake up, as soon as I wake up and I get a really silly idea from a dream, I will type it out. Or if you're just walking and you get a really cool idea, write it down. Like when the motivation hits you, write. If you're like, oh my god, I need to do this, but then all of a sudden I'm really inspired to write, then write then, because you need to actually prioritize your goal. So then if you're suddenly getting the urge to write. But then also, if you're getting a random idea, write it down, then later you can see that idea and then you're like, oh my god, that idea is, I'll write that specific idea in my book. And then, oh my god, you're actually motivated, because if you're getting these random urges, it's your body being like, oh my god, I'm motivated to write. Listen to your body and actually write your book, period. Next, people are always like, oh my god, if you're inspired to write, you should consume other art. And that is true, but what if the other art you're choosing is like, oh my god, like there's this book, it's called It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, and it looks so cool, I should read it. And then you read it and you're like, oh my god, this is literally so shit. Then you're not gonna be inspired, you're just gonna be traumatized by Colleen Hoover's atrocious writing, right? So instead, what you can do is you can reread or rewatch your favorite, or replay your favorite games or whatever. Then you're inspired by that art, therefore you're more likely to write. Because, for example, I'm obsessed with Detroit Become Human, right? So then if I play that again, I'm gonna be like, oh my god, the storytelling, I mean Connor, oh my god, the storytelling, the plot, the characters, by characters I mean Connor and everyone. Then I'm gonna be more inspired to, oh my god, my legs are so sweaty. Then I'm gonna be more inspired to actually write, because I'm like, wow, the world building and the plot and the characters and the situations and the plot twists and the potentials in this thing eat, then it's good. My book needs to also eat, and I'm getting ideas and I'm getting inspiration. But if you're like reading new books can help, but if you're like, there's this book I really like, then just read it. If you're like, there's this, like, for example, like, I don't know, rewatch Avatar: The Last Airbender again, you know, if you haven't watched it, please watch it. But like, yeah, literally just do that again. Oh my god, thank you so much to Reedsy for sponsoring this video. Make sure you click on the link of the description and get their How to Write a Novel course, because that will actually make you motivated and inspired. And the advice is amazing, and it's from Tom Bromley, a literally award-winning, best-selling ghostwriter. And it's like insanely high quality. You will actually be inspired and you will actually want to write your book. Thank you so much for watching. I genuinely appreciate everyone. Also, I love reading your comments. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everyone to just watching to the end. Like, thank you. Please consider subscribing to the channel. Join the Rhea cult, especially so you can see the other videos. So thank you so much for Reedsy for sponsoring this video. Thank you so much for you to watching this video. Thank you so much for this video, period. And yeah, bye.